and we got March playing Iron. And this game is starting a little bit earlier than the other one. And if we have a chance, we might walk down to the other field, depending on how chaotic the finish is and who finishes first. And we might give you a little bonus coverage of the Fat Kids and Hexx. Again, the only reason why we're down here is just a little too rough to try to run between diamonds. You never know when they're going to end. So this game's getting ready to kick off here. And should be a fun game. For those of you tuning in for the first time while we got a little time, going to just go through some rules here. It's an all-turf field, as you can see. Very short fences, 210 down the lines, 235 to center. The shortest distances that we play out here in Chicago. And short fence, we get a lot of ground rule doubles. 16-inch clincher, it's not a mush ball. The ball hits the roof in fair territory. It's a live ball. If it's caught before it hits the ground, it's an out. If it hits the carpet, it's all you can get. 60-foot bases, you can lead off, you can't steal. Pitchers, rubber, 38 feet from the rubber to the point of home plate, 6'12" on the arc. 1-1 count, pitcher gets 2 fakes or hesitations. Third arm action must be to deliver the ball home. A throw or a fake to a base is one of your fakes or hesitations. We use heavy bats, 38 ounces, 34 inches long, and 2 1/4 on the barrel. We got a new feature, instant replay, so we'll be showing you a few replays during the course of the ball game. And this should be an interesting game. March has got a few pickups that'll be with them next year, so they've upgraded a little bit, and they had a real good year last year as they moved up the rank in the Chicago Summer Series rankings. And, of course, Iron is a young team on the come, and it looks like they got some of their kids out. Must be on their winter break. Leading off, Brian Evans just slapped it the other way for a leadoff hit, and that's what he does. Evans, very solid defender at second, runs pretty good, and he moves the ball around. So Morris Greco hitting in the 2-hole. Morris was a long-time Hexx guy and moved on last year, and he strokes it right to Billy Quirk. Nice play. They can't get the play, but Morris hit the ball good, just couldn't get it elevated over the top of Billy Quirk, who made a nice play, snap throw there, you see, but couldn't get the double play. So here's Jake Harrigan, and he pounds a base hit. Evans had to make sure it got through, but he does get the second. So coming out of the gate hard here, 2 on, 1 out. Brings up Junior, and he slaps a cut, and that's going to score Evans easily. First lead of the ball game. So Roberto Villalobos Jr. with a base hit. And March a very early lead here. Still only 1 out. First and second. Brings up Ben Detzmer, the right fielder.
I'm watching Joe. You're good.
So good start here for the March Club. And there's a ground ball. Could be 2. Relay not in time. Throw gets away. Harrigan scores. So you saw a little bit of an errant throw there by Marco Macias. We don't see that often. Looked like it was going to be a good turn, but good hustle there. I don't think they would have got the double play anyway. But they do pick up a second run. And that's going to bring up Tom Lentine Jr. And Tommy, little pop-up going back as the shortstop in front of the left fielder. There's a little bit of chaos there, but shortstop made the play. So we head to the bottom of the first, 2-0, March. So Iron coming to bat. Spencer Stanek, Billy Quirk, and P.J. Raines. And they got some of their younger kids here tonight, Tyler Atkins and Nate Kremkow, two of the foundational pieces of this new, younger-looking Iron team, which has been coming along very well the last couple of years. Danny just waiting for these kids to kind of graduate because he's always short when we get into mid-August with the kids going back to school. You see poor Danny Atkins hobbling around over here, having some knee issues. I think he told me he had a knee replacement, but I don't know if he's going to get it or he's already had it. But he certainly is hobbling around. Spencer pounds it up the middle, leadoff man on. So good speed aboard. And it brings up Billy Quirk, who had a spectacular summer last year. Billy, just a guy that knows how to get on base. And there he flips it the other way, hit it too fat, and Junior Villalobos right on the spot for out number one. And Billy's got such a beautiful line drive swing to either gap. And that time it looked like he was trying to get cute and just flip. And here's P.J. Raines. PJ on the 45s last year, but he's moving to flashback this year. Well, it's hard to say who the top teams are going to be. I think if the rumor is true that West Shannon is moving to the 45 to signature, and the Malouk lives as PJ flies out, I think if Chad Hook and West Shannon both go to signature, they're going to be greatly improved. Should help their consistency a little bit as well. It's going to bring up Chapo Bolinas. Flashback did very well grabbing P.J. Raines. They're going to still be one of the top teams. And I think Hexx is going to have a much better year as well. And Bolinas, he rifles it up the middle. Stanek, now they throw behind him. A little surprised that Stanek didn't get to third on that. With 2 outs, you would have thought he'd be running. And it brings up Matty Toomey. And then I'm not quite sure what some of the other big teams have done. I mean, really we start to get a feel for it right around the Westchester Tournament of Champions. Well, Rosemont had indicated they would like to come back, but they need to check their scheduling. And there's a high fly ball, and that'll do it. So a little threat by Iron. They can't score. We'll head to the second, still 2-0. And, you know, for a lot of people that maybe looked at Rosemont, it really wasn't the walkthrough that people thought. They had played some mid-level A teams their first few ball games, and they probably should have lost to the 45s. They snuck past 2-0 in a game where the 45s left like 12 guys on the last 5 innings, and they just couldn't punch a hit across to get it done. And they were losing in the if game 6-4 in the bottom of the 7th to a Flash team that lost Danny Dispenza midway through the first championship game, and I think had Danny been healthy, it might have made a huge difference. So here's Johnny McIlvain, and he smokes it fair down the line. Johnny takes the turn, but Tyler Atkins got on it in a hurry. And you got to understand, too, about Rosemont is, you know, that's one of the best 12-inch teams, if not the best in the country. Here's Tom Lentine Sr., and they recruit nationally. I don't think they had 3 guys from the same state on their roster. And so they get to pick a litter. And Tommy Lentine trying to go deep, but that's going to be foul. Don't think it had the distance. And here in Chicago, we're all amateurs, and we're all chasing the same talent. So, but they did well. Rosemont carried themselves very well, and there's a line drive. Macias can't make the play. Tommy Lentine Sr. does get to first, as Marco just couldn't catch it. A little soft cut that was sinking on him. And I thought that they handled themselves very well. I think the guys at the complex, we certainly enjoyed having them. And there's a swing by Chris Miller. CJ knocks it down. He does get an out, but Tommy Lentine, courtesy running, does make it to second. So another runner in scoring position for Reese Miles. And when you looked at the numbers, and he strokes a hit into right field, Lentine coming to the plate, the throw, safe. The throw was up the line a little bit. Looked like they had Tommy at the plate. Then when the catcher went to tag it, the ball popped loose. 3-0. Big hit there by Reese Miles. And they're back to the top of the lineup with another runner in scoring position. And Brian Evans tries to go back to that right field line again. This time Atkins, wise to that, makes the catch. So they were a joy to have in the park. They carried themselves well. They interacted. And I think they really enjoyed themselves. Rumor is that Rufex might be thinking about coming in as well. Well, the Reapers may be in one of the lower divisions. Are a team to keep an eye on for sure, but you know, when you're talking about the best in the game, you got to kind of focus on the major level. But what I do like is we're seeing a lot of the younger teams now accepting the challenge. So we've got a lot of B teams starting to filter into the A level, and some of the A teams now are starting to kind of filter up a little bit as well. So here's Trey Johnson, and he hits it, and that ball gets by. And I think they had Johnny in the outfield in the first inning. Now they've moved him over to third. Threw a little bit of a long, hot skipper there. Leadoff man on base. And it brings up Joe Walgos. And Joe drives a hit up the alley, and that ball's going to roll to the fence. One run is in, and Joe makes it. So good job there by Joe Walgos as he goes in, splits the gap. I thought Joe was maybe going to run out of gas going to second, but he did make it. So we got a 3-1 game here as Iron has broken the seal. And it brings up Marco Macias. And I'm not quite sure what the delay is here. And Marco flips the other way. Evans will take care of it, and they get the out. And here's Tyler Atkins. And Tyler, a little slapper to Evans, and they get the out at first, but the second run does score. And I think if you're Tyler, and you know he hasn't been out here all the time, that's a good job of hitting when you maybe don't have the reps in, and you made sure you scored the run. And here's a swing and a fly ball by Nate Kremkow, sliding catch in center field for the third out. So Morris Greco, we normally see him on the corner, playing left field, playing center tonight. So we're going to head now to the top of the third. Game's a little tighter. And I think if you were going to handicap this game, you might give a slight edge to March. But if Iron was to win, I don't think that would necessarily be a surprise. So leading off is going to be Morris Greco. Then it'll be Jack Harrigan and Junior. It's wide throw there by the shortstop, Nate Kremkow. So leadoff man on there. He brings up Jack Harrigan. And Jack scalds one. Throw to second, Macias, and they turn the double play. Nicely done. So after the throwing error, he makes up for it right away. And they go around the horn, and we talk all the time. Marco, a very slick short center, caught it and threw it in one motion. And they wipe out the leadoff single. And here's Junior Villalobos as he slaps his second hit of the ball game to center field. Brings up Ben Detzmer. So good job there by the Iron infield to get that double play. And there's a long ball the other way, and Tyler Atkins runs it down with a little bobble. So the leadoff single goes for naught. And they get out of it with no damage.
Come on, boys. I see how much you lose.
Is that my water bottle? Is that a 7-Eleven water?
Your water?
Yeah, that's mine.
That's the one to score one less than Brandon.
No. No. Next inning. I got umpires wanting to say hi. I want them to ump the game. So I had to give my water bottle. Sorry, Danny. Didn't want to run into you with that knee. So here's CJ leading off. Nice catch. Greco running in, makes it. I tell you, the temperature dropped about 10 degrees in this dome in the last 30 minutes. So I don't know if they got the heater on a timer, So CJ flies out to start the bottom of the third, brings up the leadoff man, Spencer Stanek. I would think they still are. Little ground ball up the middle. Tommy's going to have to hurry. Makes the play. Iron thought he bobbled it. If he didn't bobble it, I think he was out. I did not see a bobble. Of course, we were behind him there. So nice play there to get Spencer Stanek. 2 up, 2 down. Here comes Billy Quirk. And Billy hits it straight up the elevator shaft. Easy play for Morris Greco. So we're going to head top of the fourth in a snappy ball game here. 3-2. And I'll take this opportunity to grab a slug of water. So if you're Iron, we're approaching the halfway mark. You're only down a run, which in the dome isn't much. But just got to keep playing defense here and hope that March doesn't start to score a few runs. So it's going to be Tommy Lentine Jr. leading off, Johnny McIlvain, and then Tommy Lentine Sr. So father-son going to hit in the same inning. And Tommy walks the dog down the right field line for a leadoff single to start this top of the fourth. See Johnny McIlvain, he always jumps up and pulls his knees up. I asked him about that at Hamlin Park last summer, and he said that he has a hard time. And there he strokes it up the alley. Toomey cut it off, but the runner will still get to third. And he said he does that because he has a hard time keeping his quads loose and his hamstrings. And Johnny actually a very good basketball player. And he's part Greek. And he played in a lot of the Greek high school type leagues and tournaments I did growing up. And Tommy Lentine, that's off the roof, and it's going to be a foul ball on the call. So did drop, but umpire thought it hit the roof in foul territory. And I tell you, if I ever built a dome, I would try to have a demarcation on the roof where foul and fair territory would be. So, new life for Tommy Lentine. And there's a fly ball, and it drops. So March does push another run across. Center fielder came in, looked like he was maybe going to make a sliding catch, but he couldn't get there, and the ball hit the rug. It brings up Chris Miller. So still nobody out, first and second here. CJ grabs a strike. And CJ will try to pick you off. So if you're a base runner, you always got to be aware. Angelo from the Fat Kids will also go. And there's a little ground ball. Marco steps, throws, double play. Marco Macias involved with his second double play of the ball game there. Knew he had time and did a great job. So here's Reese, and he gets his second big two-out hit of the ball game and drives in his second run of the ball game. So it looked like Iron was maybe going to get out of here with no damage. Instead, they've given up a deuce, and they fall behind by 3. And Brian Evans tries to go to the gap, and this time the center fielder, P.J. Raines, got to it and made the sliding catch. So nicely done there by P.J. to avoid any further damage, and we head to the bottom of the 4th. Iron looking for a little offense, and so far this guy here, 0-0, it's been the star of the game. 2 2-out base hits. That was one of the things when I was managing. It's not always about what you hit, it's about when you hit. And some guys just had that knack. 2 outs or big spot in the game, you'd be willing to bet a mortgage payment they would get you a hit. Here's PJ leading off. He goes high and deep, not deep enough. Detzmer puts it away about 4 feet in front of the carpet, or the wall, and just a high fly out. Brings up Chapo Bolinas with Matt Toomey on deck. So you'd rather have guys that are unafraid. And there's a swing, and Chapo dumps it in front of Greco for a 1-out base hit. See, Chapo's got his young daughter here watching the game. It looks like Joe Hogos is trying to keep her entertained over there. And there's a swing and a high fly ball. Junior Villalobos makes the catch. So Matty Toomey missed it. Ended up being a soft fly ball. And brings up Trey Johnson. And Iron needs a little bit of a jolt right now. And this is the guy that can do it. I think if you're Tommy Lentine, you don't want to necessarily flatten out to this kid. And Trey being very patient here. And there's a ground ball. Rees makes the play, so they don't score, and we'll head to the top of the 5th. I was pretty good. I went to a school called Richards, which may ring a bell for you guys. That's where Dwayne Wade graduated. Of course, I was many years before Dwayne. And I started back when that was in the old Sika North, which was a badass conference. And so I held my own for a short kid. I was a better baseball player. Somewhere in the background, I can hear Bruce Springsteen singing Glory Days. So here's Morris Greco. He sweeps the ground ball to Quirk, a little fumble, and Morris beats it out. So Billy Quirk, normally very sure-handed, had a little bit of a bobble. That ball was kind of hugging the ground. And I think he might have stood up a hair early on it. So here's Jack Harrigan. And Jack goes high and deep. That's got a chance. It's gone. So Jack Harrigan, CJ flattened out, got it up around the letters a little bit, and he rode it out of here for a 2-run homer. Smart's now up 7-2 in this ball game. Brings up Junior. Full count. And And there's a sky high, does not hit the roof, and Billy Quirk makes the play. Brings up Ben Detzmer. So again, we're in the 5th inning here, depending on what happens. And Detzmer comes through with a base hit. Right now, CJ's kind of just leaving the ball up around belt high below the letters, and Mark's just kind of stroking it pretty good. Here's Tommy Lentine Jr. And he guides a hit. Toomey playing short, throws him out at first. So Brian Toomey was squeezing him. And I think Tommy wasn't expecting him to come to first, but he saw that he wasn't necessarily running. And McIlvaine hits the roof, and getting out there is Nate Kremko, who's played a lot of outfield, and the shortstop catches the ball about 125, 145 feet into the outfield. But they do push 2 across. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Of course, I'm still getting over my depression. Went up to Milwaukee on Sunday to watch my beloved Ramblers play University of San Francisco. The Ramblers took their first loss of the year by 10, but they were a miserable 15 of 34. Yeah, that's not a misprint from the free throw line. They didn't shoot very well. Looks like their point guard, second big injury that they've had, so we'll see how they react. Here's Joe Welgos, and that ball is foul, and it's going to roll into the other game down there. So I'll grab some more water while we're waiting. As we're waiting on the ball coming back in. Again, you can see down here that where the fence ends and the foul pole is at, it's wide open. So when you hit something hard down the line, it's going to roll. Again, win or go home, single elimination. These are the playoffs, and we are live from the Rosemont Dome. And now Joe goes up the middle. Tommy Lentine makes the catch. Looked like Rees lost his footing a little bit. He was playing kind of deep over here, had a long way to go. Brings up Marco Macias. And there's a little slasher, McIlvaine, long throw. And they call him out. We'll let you guys watch the replay. And that was pretty close. And it brings up Tyler Atkins. So the 7 isn't horrible for the bottom of the 5th if you're iron, but the 2 is. And there he punches a hit the other way. Harrigan knocked it down. Not sure if McIlvaine got a hand on it, but that would have been very difficult. Tyler left-handed and can scoot. And it brings up Nate Kremka. These 2 kids were high school baseball teammates, and I believe they won a state title, I want to say. And I don't think they got the chance to repeat because I think COVID came along. So we're going to head now to the top of the 6th. Marching control 7-2. So what we know so far is Goodwood and Signature have advanced. Dummies and Ink are out. And Tommy Lentine Sr. guides it out there, but Tyler Atkins chases it down for the first out of the inning. So Tommy trying to go big a couple of times tonight. Hit a long foul ball down that left field line his first at-bat. And that's usually not Tommy's game. He's usually a left center, right center cutter. And here's Chris Miller, and Chris dumps it right over the infield. And they're going to courtesy run with Johnny McIlvain, as they normally would have run for, excuse me, for Tommy Sr. as well. So 1 out hit for Reese Miles, 2 for 2, 2 RBIs, and there he just hits a little roller. Tough play for Bolinas, but he makes it. He does move the runner over to second. 2 outs now, runner on second. Here comes Brian Evans. Chance to extend the lead out. And he can't beat Toomey, who came in and made a nice catch to end the inning. So nicely done there by the right fielder, Matty Toomey, as he came in and hugged it to his chest as he went to the carpet. So we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and Irons really got to get a move on it here as the game is slipping by. And it's going to be CJ and then the top of the lineup with Spencer and Billy. So this is a good time to start getting your offense ramped up a little bit. Both teams have been pretty good defensively. And CJ, that's going to carry right to Junior Villalobos for out number 1. And this dome isn't bad because you can see they got the red wall, so as an outfielder, you can see it. And then there's some black netting. And you can see the lights point up and the light reflects off of the dome. So it's not too bad for the outfielders. On the other diamond, there's a little bit more of a white screen behind home, little ground ball. Tommy Lentine handles it. You can see if you were a left fielder on that other diamond, it can be a little tricky once that ball gets above the red. It's just not that much on this side. And some outfielders do have an issue very early the first couple of times they play here. So here's Billy Quirk, 2 up, 2 down here. And Iron just can't seem to get untracked offensively. And there's a ground ball. So busy inning for Lentine. Makes 2 plays up the middle. And we head to the top of the 7th. Carly, if they're still playing down there, I'm going to try to catch the end of that ball game. I'm going to have to grab my bag. I'm not going to start a new stream with that. So it's going to be a little bouncy on the ride. So if any of you got epilepsy issues, you may want to just wait till I'm more stationary. I don't want to give anybody a whiplash or trigger them. And I'm not a doctor, so I don't even know if the bouncing around would even be a problem. Here's Morris Greco. He puts a charge into it, but Atkins makes the play. By the Dome, you mean the Los Barachos Softball Club League at Intentional? I will be going out there. And here's Harrigan, and he just hits a wicked shot into left. And now the ball fell out of Tyler Atkins' hand on the throw. Jack had already shut it down. So if you're iron and you want to have a good shot at even thinking about a comeback, you need to make sure nobody else scores. And Junior Villalobos, Stanek is there, and Marco Macias. Stanek threw a rocket. Marco had to climb the ladder and one-handed the fastball. And there's a little ground ball. Billy Quirk, safe at first. So runners on the corners, brings up Tommy Lentine. And sorry I got distracted, so I didn't get to the replay button. Still getting used to the fact that I have it. So here's Tommy Lentine Jr. Chance to push across a few more insurance runs. And there's a fly ball. Atkins goes back and makes it. So do or die, bottom of the seventh here. And if you're iron, you need 5 to keep the game going. 6, you walk them off. Anything less, and March will advance, and iron will be out. Always like getting a little off-season gossip. Yeah, I'm going to look forward to getting out an intentional for that Los Barachos League. PJ Raines leading off. I had a great time out there. It let me see a lot of the younger kids in a little more depth and detail. And it's always good to take a look at our future stars. And there's a little pop-up. Going back is Brian Evans, and he makes the catch. Out number 1, iron down to the last 2 outs here. So we're going to get out there for sure December 27th. And we'll try to do a game or 2. Probably early. And here's Chapo. That ball did not hit the roof, and Junior makes the catch for out number 2. Johnny McIlvain ran from third base all the way to the wall down there. And, you know, going to be a little tough to do the midnight game when I got to head out to Aurora on Saturday for that overnight thing. I'm just hoping that it's 40 degrees on the 28th, because that dome in Aurora can get chilly.
Hey, Blue, how about an illegal here? How about an illegal here? You like to go high here and come up.
And I'm not even sure how many teams they're going to have out there. So I'm actually kind of hoping maybe the championship game will be around 2 or 3. Ground ball, bullet, Harrigan throws, and that'll do it. So I'm going to grab my bag, folks. March will advance. They'll be back out here tomorrow as we head to the semifinals. So we've got 3 teams that have advanced to the semifinals. March, Signature, and Goodwood. Now the only question is, are the Fat Kids or Hexx, which one of them is going to join them? So they're still playing down there, so we're hustling to get down there. Well, hustling as much as I can, carrying a 30-pound backpack in my gear here. And there we just see somebody just went yard. Yeah, I just walked past the blower and it's blowing cold air. So we just missed a home run. Not sure who hit it. So we're going to set up on this field on third base. Looks like Hexx is in the field. So that ball was launched by a Fat Kid. And I'm not sure what inning it is. We'll try to grab somebody on the Fat Kid sideline and see what's going on here. So we're giving you a little bonus coverage. And there you see they always got the women's out. The Fat Kids travel well, to say the least. What's the score, Noach? Who's winning? They are. Hexx leading in the top of the 5th. 8-6? 8-6. Hexx leading the Fat Kids. Oh, we got the blower behind us. And there's a high fly ball by Brandon Molina. And somehow Curtis Ostrom held on. So we're in the top of the 5th here. 8-6. So we're going to try to change the scoreboard and get the new names up there. Let me get the score right first. Here's Matt Peckus. And Matt, line drive right to Scahill. And that'll end the inning. So now you're up to date with the scoreboard. I'm actually going to rotate to first base because I got that blower in the background. And here's Greco leading off here. So we'll wait for his at-bat and we'll rotate around. And he hits a knuckleball over to right fielder. Luke Lowry bounced up in the net for a ground rule double.
Here you go, Mikey. Here you go, Mikey. Here you go, kid.
So leadoff ground rule double here, bottom of the 5th, 8-6. Hexx leading the Fat Kids. Here's Mikey Oliver. And there's a swing and a line drive caught by the shortstop, Macho Soto, climbing the ladder. And there's a good-looking, slim-down Bruce Lee at first. Brings up Richie Battistoni. One of the drawbacks, I always get a lot of glare from that white roof up there on this diamond. Going to see if I can't darken it up a little bit. So hopefully that's a little better. And Richie off the wall, that's going to be a... And the umpire didn't make a call. And the umpire says, yeah, foul ball after Fat Kids had to do a barking. He didn't say anything there, didn't realize. I think the umpire kind of got... I hope that's not too dark for you guys, but otherwise, for some reason, we always get a lot of glare on this diamond because of the way the lights are there along third base. On the other diamond, they're much higher up on the wall. So there's a swing and a ground ball. Soto got a hand on it. Now it's in no man's land. Greco will score. It's Richie Battistoni pounding it into the hole between third and short. And Hexx extends out another run. And here's Rory Oakley.
Come on, Roy.
So if Carly's not in the facility, she can see her brother, and that ball is foul, not by much. Again, it seems a little dim here, like there's a little haze in the air here in the dome tonight. I don't know, it could be me getting older, but it just seems a little darker.
Right behind you.
So here's Rory on the reset, and he guides it into the alley, base hit. Gates gets a hand on it, now he's juggling it. And Oliver, though, stops at third. So Rory Oakley dumps a hit into right center. Brings up Brian Sloan.
Right in front of you.
9-6 here, bottom of the fifth. Fat Kid's trying to put a tourniquet on the bleeding here a little bit. And there's a little ground ball, and that's foul as well. We had a ball like that in the last game. And
There you go, man.
hitting fair territory, went over the bag fair, landed in foul territory. And there was a little barking going on about it. And we told you, Angelo, we'll try to pick you off. I don't know if I had that, but you can see how slick he is. So it came right into our living room. And Rory got a big lead there. And there's a ground ball knocked down. Everybody's going to be safe. Another run scores. So 10-6 here in the fifth. Angelo telling his infield, that's my fault. So I think Hexx is going to be a tough out. Luke Lowry makes the catch. No advancement. That ball was hit right on the screws, but right at the right fielder. So it brings up Curtis Ostrom. And I always thought Curtis was, since he came over here, really the heart and soul. And he bangs a base hit. It's going to drive in run. Sloan going to third. And that's an ill-advised throw. It allowed Curtis to sneak up 60 feet. So big two-out hit. Brian Sloan running on the swing made it to third.
Yeah, do that. Here we go, Nick. Do that. You're good.
And there's a swing and a fly ball, went off the roof, gets caught. So we're going to head to the top of the sixth now, 11-6.
You gotta keep playing, guys.
So the Fat Kids now find themselves in a little bigger deficit. They had the home run as we were walking up to get to 8-6. And they got Hexx's attention, but I think Hexx is going to be much better. They struggled a little bit last year. A lot of that was attendance. But their core group was pretty solid. When you got people like Al Rice and Curtis Ostrom, Rob Scahill, Greco, and Richie Battistoni. So they had a real good, solid core group. Here's Noach. And they picked up some high energy guys off of Sauce. And also high attendance. So that should bode well for them in the long run next year. And Noach swings, high fly ball. Curtis goes back, can't make the catch. It stayed in the park, and Noach is going to lumber into second. And I don't know if they tagged him there or not. As you can see, Noach hustling in on the replay and might have just got that long leg in there. And there's a swing and a base hit. It skips past. Head first slide, a run does score. So nice job there as he swept the line drive. And they pick up a run back close to within 4. And it brings up Nick Jones. With another run out there at second. And Nick, a little spinner foul. So Magana gets a hit there. So he hit a little sinking line drive that Curtis couldn't make a play on. There is a contrast, but, you know, it's a trade-off between... And Nick Jones rifles it in front of the center fielder. He boxed it up in the air. Another run's going to score. Nick Jones comes through. Nick, really? Gotta give my guy a little grief. Signature, Goodwood, and March. Waiting on this one to see who else joins the Final Four. Brings up Bruce Lee. So it's now a 3-run game.
Turn it infield.
And Bruce punches it, and that's going to be an out in center field. It brings up Angelo Feliciano. Luke Lowry on deck.
We got one. We got one. We got one.
One out here. That kid's already pushed 2 across. And Angelo just foul. Nick Jones had a full head of steam there. I think he would have scored if that ball was fair. So heading into tomorrow, I would think, and he goes back there and he walks the dog this time. Oliver gets on it. Nick actually had a better read on the first ball, which was more of a line drive but foul. That ball had a little air on it. And now they're a bomb away from tying this thing. I believe there's still one out here. Luke Lowry. Alex Rodriguez on deck. And Lowry sweeps it up the middle. Scahill one-hands it. Can't get the double play. That was a nifty play there by Scahill. Rice was coming over, and Rob reached down one-handed. He reached down with his left hand, had to transfer it to his right hand to make the throw, and it was just a little high, 11-9. It brings up Alex Rodriguez, 2 outs now. And Alex punches a base hit. Lowry is going to fly into third base. I like what he did there. He didn't throw it to second, but he threw a strike to Brian Sloan on the mound. Prevented Lowry from thinking about taking another bag. And it prevented Rodriguez from going to second. Here's Scott Gates. And Gates hits a sinking knuckleball, but Curtis Ostrom went down on a knee. But in the inning, they score 3, back to a 2-run game as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Gotta look at the lens on this camera. Maybe it's time to wipe it off. I don't know. But it does seem like there's a little haze here. I don't know if it's because of the fact that it's been damp out and we're in that weird cold, and you know, they don't really have the heat cranked up very much. It's kind of chilly in here, and I think that's kind of creating this weird looking, it almost feels like it's a twilight outside.
Go, boys. You get them on and over here now. On and over here.
So leading off is going to be Al Rice. And right now, if you're the Fat Kids, you'd like to hold it here to a 2-run ball game. You don't want to make your 7th any harder than it already is. And if Alex Rodriguez got a swing, I would think the Fat Kids got to be toward the top of the lineup. Macho Soto, pitch and catch, playing deep on the carpet, got a big hop there. Strong arm, out number 1. It brings up Mark Holstein. I'm going to get off this line just in case Mark decides he's going to try to turn and burn here and maybe pick up a little insurance. I'm not sure how many home runs Hexx has as we join the game in progress. So we got a little bonus coverage live from Rosemont. And he chops it back to Angelo Feliciano, and it brings up Rob Scahill. So the Fat Kids, if I'm correct in where they should be in their lineup, based on history, they can get this third out here. They will have a pretty decent opportunity with the right guys coming up to maybe steal a win here. And I would think either one of these teams tomorrow, I think you'd have to consider there's a hard ground ball. Rodriguez, little bobble, but he makes the play. Do or die, bottom of the 7th. 2 to keep it going, 3 to walk them off. Anything less, and Hexx will join Signature, Goodwood, and March in the final 4 of these Dome playoffs. And this is a tough draw. First game out for both of these teams in the playoffs. I'm not sure what happened during the season, but You got to figure they were middle of the pack seed-wise. But I would think Signature would be the favorite going into the Final Four. I think the winner of this game would be next on your list, and I think March and Goodwood would be a coin flip after that. But Goodwood played an excellent ball game the other day. So here's the leadoff man, and he pumps it the other way, way out of play. So it is 2-3-4. You got Brandon Molina and Matt Peckus, both capable of going yard, and then Noach. So if the Fat Kids get a base runner, they got power hitters coming up. If they get 2 base runners, they'd be in a good position to steal this one. Again, not sure how many home runs they got left. And there's a swing and a little fly ball to center, handled easily for out number 1. Amalia, you're a lot of things, but shy and demure are not 2 adjectives I would use to describe you. So here's Molina, and he pops it up as he went after a low pitch. Now, if you're Hexx, you feel pretty good. Peckus might have the most consistent power on the Fat Kids. Even if he launches, you're still up a run. And Peckus hits a screamer, and running it down in the corner is Curtis Ostrom. For an old guy, he runs pretty good. You still run pretty good for an old guy, Curtis. Curtis is about 37, I think, now. So the Fat Kids tried to come back. They couldn't do it. We're going to be back tomorrow night, 10 and 11. Semifinal game. We'll probably be on whatever the championship diamond is, and we'll sit there for 2 games. And so I don't know what the scheduling is, so if you're a fan of any of the Final Four teams, don't take it out on me. So it's going to be Signature, Hexx, Goodwood, and March playing for the title tomorrow night, and we're going to have it live. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast and the new toy, the instant replay. We will catch you tomorrow. Be safe. Have a good day.